All right, my friends, who's ready for some raid action? Let's get into it here today. We're going to be doing a little bit of both, actually. We're going to combine our main account and our free-to-play account to bring you a good handful of raids. We're going to start off with Player9150 today. I'm going to do at least two here on our main account, one on our free-to-play account. The flip side of that ends up being is if we can also pull in and grab another raid on free-to-play, I might be able to bring you four. So we shall see if we get some decent tasks to help us with that, and let's get into it. So Player9150 here is a C4 required raid. It's got some interesting stuff. I'm not going to go and hard classify this as a great raid, but it's pretty decent. We do have some spikes, which is pretty nice. You're going to see here at the very top, I'll use the map. This big section right here is essentially just, it doesn't have anything in it. It's where the chopper is assembled or working on being assembled. This next section, I believe, has one crate right down here, which has some okay stuff in it. But where we want to actually start our raid, I want to say, is right here. Essentially, what we have in this whole section is it's just all blocked off with level 2 walls. So we brought ourselves a good handful of iron hatchets to help through that. We may actually need a few more than what I brought. I think I have 6 here. But we are going to pop open this base with the C4 and go from there. So I'm going to try to get to this section right here and open this up initially. Yes, I think we picked the right one. If not, we might go and crack that other C4. But I think we're in okay shape. Take care of some zoms here. I had the VSS from our last video, actually. And the reason I want to crack this in, so again, you can see a workbench right here. I do believe that right here is one additional crate with some decent stuff. But essentially what I did want here is I wanted these two crates. Mostly because we have a VSS, we have some heals, and obviously some decent food. Couple of okay things here. Obviously, on this account, on our main account here, there's not a ton that we need, so I look for just good things to be able to break down mostly. But also weapons. Just really here looking for weapons. Heals is helpful as well. But we're gonna open up these other compartments here. If you really want, and if we have some noise left, I will grab a C4. We have plenty in our storage to crack open this last one. These guys sometimes get stuck, which is kind of nice. You saw them kind of twerking up there, which is pretty interesting. So this is pretty decent. Getting a heat sensor is cool. I always love to grab springs. Obviously, truck saw blades if you need. I like to grab turret parts though as well. They're really good for breaking down. Getting in your recycler. So again, it's just lattice work here. Oh, there's a little bit of wood. We'll take some basic resources is fine. Cracking these walls open sometimes is a little frustrating. Just because of how this is set up. Yeah, we're going to be pretty tight on noise, I think. We're already into our last section of it. We have at least 2 more walls to take down, I'm gonna assume. I think that's how we're setting up on this raid. But actually, having this little window here is nice because I know I'm breaking the wall down. Okay, then we want to break this wall down as well, and these will be the other 3 crates that we're going to be able to get to. So it's kind of patchwork together. I'm trying to figure out, could I have done this better? No, because you do need to break this wall down right here. One of the other things that I've seen is busting in with your C4 on any of these 4 walls. That's fine too, right? Because essentially you're still going to have to break this pattern open. I just really wanted to make sure that I got to the VSS. But do keep that in mind. All right, we're going to move quickly here and just grab a bunch of stuff that we can. I need a hatchet, which is also a little unfortunate. So we ironically found ourselves in a decent spot. But I need to be careful of this. We gotta just get out of here. Okay. That was a little dicey. We're getting out of there. We're just going to win the raid. Whew, that was a little dicey. Don't get trapped in there. You can do the chopper trick if you want. If you're not familiar with the chopper trick, essentially you run it out of gas. You can roll it forward. You can stop it in a spot. The zombies can't get by it. And then you can work around in there. What you should be careful of is you did see a couple of those windows on the back end of that one. So keep that in mind. But some decent stuff overall. We'll take a quick look. Obviously, I didn't get anything to the chopper, but we got a bunch of stuff we can break down. Some good food. Did pick up a VSS, so essentially kind of replace the one that we've been using up. Some decent basic materials, right? You got some oak planks, some pine here that I know I'm in the way of. Got a full stack of animal rawhide. Again, I like grabbing turret parts. They're great to break down in our recyclers here. So that is pretty nice. Can also throw a whole bunch of this stuff down. Let's get this in here really quick. Let's top these up. Then we're going to pretty well jump right into the next raid once I organize my foods here just a little bit. And I will take care of everything else after that. All right. Let's hook up our friends. What do I have that I want to give here? I have some of these. Let's just grab a few. Not super worried about revenge raids. Seems true. Cool. You guys are cool, man. You guys are cool. Simple one little spear. I can't be mad at that. Thank you for coming on around. Let's get you back here. Back some bases. Thank you, Player9150. Pretty good. I give that like a solid. That was like a solid 5, 6 maybe. I could see an argument for a 6 on that raid. Nothing crazy. Some good, decent stuff. Some stuff you don't necessarily see a ton of, which is kind of nice. Again, turret sensors are pretty rare, I would say, especially from raids. I really don't feel like you see those a ton. That's not terrible. All those guys are running back. We're just putting this stuff up. Again, I will break these truck tires down. I'm wondering if we need to speculate with scouting and the upgrade to the chopper, although I don't think we're going to see those be the case. What do we got here? All right, 3 deals. Police station. Can make a tactical set. Dead face. And raise 3 pups. Okay, well, what I can absolutely do is I can definitely make ourselves this armor. So we'll save ourselves a little bit of coinage here. And I am just going to crack the coins to get another raid going. We could run to the police station actually and open those tickets up if we want. That would actually save us another little bit. But I also want to see, do I have 3 puppers ready to go? I have 1 there. 2, 3. I do have 3 puppers. Okay. You know what? Let's just do that. Let's get our breeding team on. And I'm not afraid to raise up some doggos. Let's raise some doggos. What do we got? Level 3. Doesn't matter. Okay. Lucky and Henry. Henry, what do you got? All just fantastic skills. Thank you guys for playing. Thanks for doing what you do. There we go. Okay. Let's just skip the rest here. I'm going to skip the rest. Let's get to the next raid. See what we got. How much is this one? 60? That's fine. How much is it? 75. That sucks. 35 for turning in some police guards. Yeah, whatever. Complete. Let's get it. Then we'll get our streak going too, which is bad. The other thing too is once we finish this, I'm going to queue up another raid and we'll jump in and probably try to get those tasks done. Help our season here. We'll be doing a season wrap up here very shortly, so stay tuned to the channel for that. Player7930 is our next victim. So let me do some fast research. We'll be right back. All right, friends. Player7930 is a pretty decent little raid. I'm excited for this one. I love bases like this. So let's jump in here. We're going to do the suicide trick as well for this. And we're going to fill up our doggos. We're going to make full use. This base is essentially open. No C4 required here. And essentially what it is, it's a bunch of just dead chests. A bunch of these chests and I will walk you through this base. Have nothing in them. So you have these chests over here, this little jut out as well. They've basically taken up their full space, full stone base, which is pretty cool. So much respect to player 7930, I think it was. All of these essentially just either have nothing in them or have like one busted piece of SWAT armor. So there's not a whole lot in here to grab. And that might not even necessarily be true because the research I saw basically was done via a revenge raid. So where I am going to start is, first and foremost, shotgun and a SCAR on a weapons rack. Any base with a weapons rack that has weapons on it, super pumped for. Super pumped. So easy takes here. Really, really happy with that. And then I'm going to start working through here. I'm going to 3-chop a bunch of these chests. Essentially what I want is everything along this wall. We should be able to do most things here. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's going to be a good mix of things to break down. Some basic resources. Not a ton of other weapons, but some food. And some goodies. Not a ton of armor either in this base from what I recollect. But that's okay too. So this one right here, I believe, starts the pine. So I'm going to come to this one last. I think this one has a whole bunch of iron in it. And we will see that. And then I'm going to go, I think, this chest and this chest deep. One of them has stone. I think another one of them might have iron in it. The other thing that I definitely do want to open up is this right here. They're working on making themselves some steel, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to make use of that. Let's get our doggo just pumped up with some stuff. Got the first wave of zombs here. So the second wave of zombs, we're going to rip our armor off. And I actually want to do this right now. I want to get my health down a little bit. My doggo's going to do good work. So I want to make sure that he doesn't accidentally finish things off. So we'll start here. This is the food chest. So pretty good, to be honest with you. I'm going to take most of it here. I'm going to let this guy do some work on me. Because again, I absolutely want to make sure that we get killed here in this raid. I'm not going to heal. Let's grab the stack of turkeys while we're at it. And honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the rest of my armor. Right, we're at 37. So this is a nice one here. We see updated fur armor, obviously, and then a whole bunch of fur, which I'm pretty interested in taking, actually. So I think what we do here, let's throw our boots back on. We can throw our armor back on really quick. Let's go grab a bunch of this and fill our chopper up with this. This feels like the right way to do this. Get our chopper full. Doggo is full. And we'll make some good use out of having the extra storage space here. So nice base overall. Definitely better than the last one. Last one was decent. This one, easier to access. And I'm going to say overall is going to be better resources for us as well. Like that's a ton of grinding right there. Just saved. And it is funny. I get this comment a lot of times in raid videos. I'm going to invariably pass up some things that people find more valuable with where they are in the game. But the folks that are late game understand and kind of know that when you get raids like this, you're essentially just trying to reduce the time that you need to spend grabbing resources, right? Going to other locations and getting resources, which is what this one's going to turn into for me. So I want a whole bunch of these. We got the springs. Again, I'm liking turret parts. I really don't even need the filters. Probably take the turret parts here. And we'll just keep cracking some things open. I do like grabbing one of these. And I am expecting here pretty quickly. We got some steel, which is really nice. Again, some watches, which is kind of interesting to take. I'm gonna let these guys just honestly work me down. All right, get close here. I think everything is full up. Just gonna run over here. Don't want a ton of zombies left. This guy two-punched me. My dog will take care of it. It's good because we were about to run out of food and water anyways. Now the dog will come back and be fully prepped up. We will be ready to go as well. Let's get in here, grab the goodies from our best friend. Boom. We could have swapped out like the charcoal and a few other things, but again, just maximizing. Just trying to maximize what we got. And honestly, I'll just, awkwardly enough, drop that there. And I don't have a ton of cooked turkeys, I guess, so put those there. We'll grab all the fur here very fast. And then again, I'm going to probably prioritize... It's going to be mostly stuff, mostly batteries and those watches. There's a handful of other things that, again, we want to grab just for us to work our recyclers and grind up some materials. Copper's become a lot more important, in my opinion, as well. So making sure that we have a good stockpile of that is helpful. Grab that steel for sure. And I think the other couple of chests here that we'll hit have some decent stuff in them too. So we'll head back here. We're going to have one more full reset on this. The chopper with full storage plus the dog with storage is so good. It's so many extra slots. It's wonderful. Our doggo should basically just do the dirty work here. Yeah, I don't even think he hit me again. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Boop. Let's grab these. I don't really need the teas, but I don't have a bunch of berry tea either, so like... All right, definitely grabbing all this. And, I don't know, grab 2 steaks and 2 of these. Doggo, why don't you hold that? And some more food there. That's fine. Plenty of food. Plenty of food. And let's go fill up the rest of this. And make good use of this here raid. This was a nice one. This is a good one. Give this a solid, like, honestly, like 8. 8 out of 10 raid, in my opinion. Lots of resources. Again, snag that armor if it's important to you. Gun oil is important for repairing things, so that's not a bad grab either. I like the watches here. If you need hammers, they're there as well. Again, I personally just love me some batteries. EC components. Honestly, I'll even take the plates here. Feel like there they are. Let's say my next set of friends should be coming in here, and then we're in good shape. Crack a handful more crates. Fill up what we can. And we will be out of here, friends. This was a nice one. I'd love to see a raid like this on... I shouldn't say that. I want my free-to-play raids to be full of guns. I want one good, just massive, full stacks of Glocks raid here. But I'm pretty happy with this one. All right, got a couple of spots left. And a little bit of noise to burn. I will definitely take this. We can eat these up. Like, I'm kind of inclined for this at the moment. Here's all of our pine. Which might take a few stacks of that. That's all wood. This is all iron. That's all that. All right, so what I'm doing here really easily... Just taking a few of these. Get healed up, and let's get the heck out of here. Good raid. Really nice raid. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse you. And we out. Nice. That was solid. This was a good one. 7930. Thank you for playing. No C4 is really nice. I know I've said that a few times, but that helps to make a really solid raid when you just can... I mean, what did we spend basically to get into that base? A stack of pine and a stack of stone. And I know we brought an iron hatchet, but we had it left over from the last one. Let's take a quick inventory here. So again, a whole bunch of stuff to break down. I know I'm in the way. I did keep this animal rawhide, so that's nice. Got some gas. Again, I took some of the food because, you know, having some stacks of food's never bad. We'll use that up. That is good. I really don't have a bunch of tea. I have like no. Wait, actually, take that back. How many teas? No, I don't have many teas. So that was good. That was cool to grab. Put this away here. Put all our gas away here. Some engine parts we always love to take. I will grab that. Get our storages filled up over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Animal rawhide over here. I do need to do a little reorganization. I still got my random locker sitting in the middle of my base, basically. Okay, I want to do a quick showcase here, and then we'll turn in, and we'll see where we land. True friend, again, a little bit more food. That's not bad at all. Plus, a little, another weapon, which is good. A little flare gun. Not the hardest weapon to get. And like I said, a whole bunch more food and a whole bunch more stuff to break down. Never sad to see that. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Can I put all that away? Kind of. Put anything in here? Nope. Turret parts I have way too many of probably. Yeah. Let's get our food put away here. If I can. We definitely put the steaks away. There we go. Yeah, see, that filled it up nicely. Yeah, it's filling it up nicely. Now, it would have taken a raid with a whole bunch of turkeys in it, or a whole bunch of steaks in it, or raw meat. That would have been good as well. All right, let's grab a few of these and see how many it's going to take to appease our friends. And I am just always curious. 3 of them. All that looting for 3 measly spears. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right, let's just see what our next tasks are and see what we're getting ourselves into here. And while that queues up, again, I'm gonna have to figure out ways to secure all of these goodies. I am curious to see what are they bringing me next. That last set of raid tasks honestly was not bad though. That was pretty decent. Okay, cool. Always like seeing the hatchets, always like seeing the armor. Those are 2 easy ones. 15 toxic abominations. This one's just grindy in terms of, again, spending your resources back and forth. But a floppy disk can really help this. So you can drop the floppy disk in and then use that to go and do limestone spires, which is pretty helpful. This one sucks because it's first aid boxes. So it's not even like we could push through this one. And then 5 Savage Giants at the farm. That one's not bad. So pretty good overall. Not the worst tasks. The worst one here, in my opinion, is these boxes. Just again because you have control over this, but you can only get 3 a day. And then this one's just a little time consuming. So okay, the next time you see us, we'll be on our free to play account. We got a raid queued up, ready to go over there. So we're gonna swap. See you for the next one. All right, friends. For raid number 3, we're over to free to play, and we have E.kharch.med's base, which is another non-C4 base, but I'm going to say it's probably going to end up being the worst of the ones that we've seen. Although, not the worst base ever. There is some loot here. There is some resources. There are a few weapons as well. Plus, we get to make use here of the little tanning rack trick, which essentially will keep the zombs away from us. And we can do what we need to do here. So there's a couple of walls we're going to take down with some regular hatchets. I think I brought 6 regular hatchets and 1 iron hatchet because we do have a level 2 wall to open up. This is the extent of the base, so nothing crazy here, but we should find some okay stuff, I want to say, in these handful of chests in here. And then again, I can always appreciate a base where we don't really have to worry about the zombies getting in here. Unfortunately, it's not bigger. If this was a bigger base, this would be great because we could really make some use of it. We could open a ton of crates if we got the opportunity to do that, because we can just, bounce the big one back and forth. But anyways, we'll take what we can get. Let's open some things up. Yeah. And I don't think we'll have any issue cracking the entirety here of this base. So look for some basic resources. We'll fight these guys straight up. That's fine. Bear with me here as we knock down the zombs. Our little doggo helping us out. We just got to reset on our supply here. So we'll get probably at least 2 more supplies in before the season ends, which is always nice. I'll let the dog, hello dog, kill him please. Thank you. All right, these are the good ones up here. Good chunks of food. I'm not mad about that. We can certainly put that to use. This is pretty solid. A little bit of coupons, some of that, some heals, some of this. So not too bad there. Okay, got a little Glock action. So happy to see that. And honestly, basic resources. I'm not mad about basic resources. We'll break this tool down. Not a whole lot going here, but we got our next section of zombies. And yeah, we can make use of this trick a little bit. So if you want, what would have also been good, we can use our dog up. We can have him do some work. He gets a pretty good range with this pipe, though, where we don't really get attacked too much. So we can kind of range some zombies out this way. Take a little bit less damage. Draw some of these guys in here. Not too terrible. And I'm honestly thinking, let's do like 1 heal. Kind of curious to see if the dog is going to take him out here. They did. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just fill the dog up. Then we'll get prepared for the next one. Doggo, why don't you just take a whole bunch of pine? Good with that. Basic resources. Totally fine. We will secure a bunch more pine. This, and this. So that's pretty good. That's already pretty decent. Let's take a look and see what else am I interested in. Just grab a little bit more food. Can always grab this. Okay, there's a few things that we can break down there. We are going to need 1 more hatchet here. So tools. I will take a iron hatchet. So I'd bring 7, I think. It's reasonable. There is a ATV wheel, which I am going to go ahead and grab. All right, got our last set of zombies. And I am fine. Let's work these guys down a bit. Doggo said goodnight. I will use a bit of the food up here. Just use the jerkies. And then I am going to do a little suicide trick action here, I think. There's a few more things we can grab. That's a pretty comfortable way to be. Got the chopper filled up. Got our doggo filled up. We'll refresh our dog as well, so that's never a bad thing. And some basic resources. So again, nothing crazy. We did get the pistol, which is pretty nice. We got an electronic circuit. We got some, got some leather. All that's pretty good. I could be pretty content with most of that. For just a couple of, little stack of wood, little stack of stone, and an iron hatchet or 2. Pretty good baseline there. Now the real key here on free to play is, do we get a good enough set of tasks to complete quickly? That is what I'm very hopeful for, so that we can get our skulls up here. Then we can kind of push to try to see if we can get ourselves on a little bit of a raid streak. Would be very nice. I would very much like to be able to do that. Good little stack of food there. All right. We will pop back over here. So overall, if I'm gonna assume this is potentially our last one, but I'm gonna be hopeful again that we get some good tasks. But if this ends up being the last of the 3 for this episode, 3 good bases, I would say. Overall, 3 good bases. I can't really complain too much on a lot of this. So I'm happy with that. No absolute duds, you know, no like 2 raids where they're just terrible and you don't get anything of value out of them. Pretty happy with that. All right. Body. I didn't realize I had Raider armor on, but that is okay. All right. Let's get this. Honestly, we can throw like these right here. Let's just go and throw a bunch of stuff. Doggo, why don't you grab some things? You can have this. Honestly, tickets. Then what can I put in here? I don't know. Let's crack this last one. And then we can look at maybe opening up a few of the workbenches as well. Wasn't anything in here. Let's see what this one has. Nothing. Okay. Let's fill up on some other goodies. Water is fine. Some food is fine. I don't really need a lot of that stuff. I'll take these, I guess. Some stone. I mean, this I can make into bandages, I guess. That's not, like, terrible. It's kind of terrible. I'll take a full stack of this. And I still have chopper room, too, don't I? Really didn't need to do the suicide trick on this base, probably. I've been pretty content otherwise. But let's just... I don't know. Sure. Just throw all that down. A quick little search on this. To 93. So this will trigger big guy. No, I'd prefer not to break that open. All right, well, that's all fine. See you later. I'm not going to bother getting another thing. I could have grabbed a few more things, I guess. We didn't get a full load here. I could have brought some, I don't know. There really wasn't anything I wanted from that. All right, decent base. Decent. That was like a 4, maybe a 3. Get a pistol out of it. I didn't get a ton of iron. I got some planks. Yeah. Is there better raids out there? Absolutely. Was that one okay enough? Sure. All right. Let's make a few spears. I think this is going to be a 1 spearer. Yeah. You know what? Just have both. We're getting really close to having full reputation here, which is also pretty cool. That will help for a few points there. Let's get another attack in. And while we wait for them, throw a few things down. And there. Trying to stay organized as best we can. I put that iron in the wrong spot. That does not here. We have this in here. Okay. I have a ton of water. Water's probably like the last thing I need on this account. We have just done a good job of stockpiling that. We have a lot of batteries. And some watches. And some more goodies. Okay. All right, don't let me forget stuff in the doggo and the chopper, but let's go and take a look at our tasks here. Please let these be good. Be easy, but all my locations are reset. Okay. Good with this one. Pretty good with this one. This bunker, that's pretty easy. 52 mic and 3 guns. Okay. Pretty doable. Unfortunately, these are going to take a little bit of time. Because everything else I could run through pretty quick. We could do the skips on these, throw these in the recycler, and just and hit our ad skips for this. 52 Mike is just hopefully quick run back and forth and queue him up. 5 turrets in Bunker Alpha is, you could do that pretty fast. This is just a quick run. This is just a lot of energy, but that's fine. Like immediately what I'm gonna go do, just to kind of talk through this, and then we'll wrap up this one. So we'll leave it at 3 raids here for today. But what I'm gonna do here for free to play is I'm gonna immediately go. I'm gonna take a stack of iron. I'm gonna split it, get it into both of our workbenches. I'm gonna take my cards here and run over to police station. Drop these 3 in. At the same time, I'm going to bring enough weapons to go and basically do the clearance on the bunker floors that we need to get to these turrets. So primarily, this is a floor 4. You can do all, if you clear floor 4 completely and kill all the turrets, you can get this done. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Sometimes I don't do that and I open up the start of floor 3 because that turret's a little bit more accessible. And then you're not fighting the heavy turret, one of the heavy turrets down on floor 4, which is, reasonable. And I can also choose to not complete those floors, like leave a room left in case we get another set of raider tasks. I'll drop in the disassemblers. I'll probably add skip 2 and then drop in 1 because this is going to take some time. And then we're going to go hunt 52 Mike and see if we can't get another raid in. Plus, I have 37 minutes to get some energy back. So we can move pretty quickly on a lot of this. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Hopefully you enjoyed some good raids. I will do my best to put everything in the description and all that other stuff. Maybe some timestamps as well if I remember for that. And we're trying to do these a little bit more consistently. I hope you kind of enjoyed a little bit of a different perspective for main account versus free to play. It also makes it a lot easier for me to get a volume of raids. So we will continue to do that. But we'll wrap this one up here. Again, I'll say thanks. Consider subscribing. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so every single one counts. We really do appreciate that. It's our next big channel milestone. Likes, comments, got a Discord if you want to pop over. If you got any questions about rating, we're happy to talk through that with you over on the Discord or down below. And lots more Last Day on Earth action coming to you as always on the channel. Thanks for watching. Catch you next one. Peace.